Who are you?
I am Steve.
I got to see the Minecraft movie 4 times in one day. Nah, not actually, just kidding. It was only 3 times, but let the record show that this is a movie worth seeing multiple times. No, I'm kidding again, it wasn't 3 times. I did get to see it a couple times though. And I actually learned something very valuable from the film. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, then pause this video, go to the theater, watch it, and then come back, because this video will have spoilers in it. I'm not gonna be telling the entire story, but it is gonna give away some of it. So final warning, spoilers ahead, so tread lightly, I guess. But for those of you that have watched the film and are interested in learning the lesson that I took from it, then stay tuned. All of my videos and my channel itself exist for the purpose of encouraging you to be a good person, and I primarily talk about lessons that are rooted in biblical and Stoic principles. Now, whereas some of my videos have to do with ideas, themes, or lessons that may have gone somewhat unnoticed within movies and such, this video is not that. I'm simply highlighting the pretty noticeable lesson and main conclusion within the film, to hopefully give you a better understanding of the idea that's touched on. Early on in the film, we learn about Steve. I say early on, it's literally the intro of the movie. We learn that he's always been creative and driven to adventure. Even from the time he was a kid, he wanted to explore the mines. He grows up to do nothing with his creativity, getting a job in the doorknob business and working at a desk. He then remembers the childhood interest of his, the mines. So he has to recall where the mines are, and as he finds them, he begins to, well, mine. And he finds the Tesseract and the Tesseract holder. Not actually, but that's what it looks like. Using the 2 items he found, Steve is then able to open a portal to the overworld, where he can create and thrive without constraints, judgments, and obstacles. He lived there for years, once again thriving. Without going into detail of the entire movie, near the end, he's given a choice. Either stay in the overworld, where he can be creative as he pleases, free of any and all ridicule. No boring job he has to tend to, or bullies he has to defeat. But his creativity can only provide so much in the overworld, as it cannot impact anyone else's life. Or he could return to the real world and bring his creativity with him, acknowledging the uphill battle that he and all creative people do and will face in life. And to my surprise, he chose to return to the real world, and that was the right choice. So some of the ideas I get from that theme of creativity and what world you should choose to live in: don't dread rejection or disapproval from the world. In fact, friendship with the world is to be an enemy of him. It is not death or the ridicule of mortal men a man should fear. He should fear never beginning to live, and never bettering the world with what God has given him. I'm not trying to give false hope by saying everyone will succeed at their wildest dreams. But truth be told, I think everyone can have what they want in life and give what they have to offer to some extent. To be clear, Steve does get credit because he did come back to the real world with his new friends at the end of the film. And you could argue that what he ended up doing, being part of the team at Garrett's Gaming Store, wasn't significant, I guess, in the grand scheme. But I'd disagree. Even if he only impacts the lives of the people that come into that specific store, he has done just that, made an impact on people's lives. Having influence is a massive responsibility and honor. Truth be told, we all have influence, whether we realize it or want to accept it or not. Are you a sibling, especially an older sibling? Then you have influence. Do you work a job and have coworkers and customers of sorts that you interact with? Then you have influence. And at the end of the film, Steve appears to love what he's doing in the new gaming store of sorts, and he gets to do it with his new best friends. He managed to bring his creativity and personality to the real world and use it for good, even if that meant just making some people's day with his music, to which I'd argue it's not a just at all. This goes back to the idea that, at least in most cases, I would think is true, that everyone can have what they want to some extent. You just gotta work for it. Perhaps Steve's dream is actually to be in a touring band. Not that he couldn't go on to achieve that, but deep down, the core desire is probably mostly to simply have people enjoy his art in whatever form it may be. And yeah, make some profit off of it too. And he was able to achieve that. So to sum up the main lesson, bring your personality and productive and beneficial traits into the real world. Don't be a recluse. Use what you have for good, to help and benefit others, to love God and to love your neighbor, and to hate evil. Whether that's by being a light in your workplace, or again, to use the music example, making music that touches people's hearts and uplifts them and is beneficial in some way. Whether it's building something revolutionary, or becoming a better person in general to positively impact your family, or literally anything beneficial that your hand finds to do. And whatever you do, do it with all your might and unto the glory of God. Let your light so shine before men so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. I do want to clarify, I don't mean to get too deep with the idea. I mean, perhaps it would be productive for you, but maybe not for everyone. My overall suggestion is at least to apply the principle broadly. Whatever dreams you may have and whatever you may want to achieve, the point is that your abilities can be useful in the circumstance you're in right now. Maybe your abilities are to serve you and your coworkers and customers in your current workplace. To use Steve as the example, perhaps he could have used his creativity in his old doorknob job. Maybe he could have been in the design department or something. But even with that said, some people, myself included, just still want more than the 9 to 5 to be satisfied, and I get that. I suppose the recommendation then would be, once again, to use your abilities, personality, creativity for the most good, whatever occupation, job, or situation you find yourself in. And if you are simply not compatible where you are, don't think it off limits to go somewhere where you can thrive. Be smart though too. I'm not telling everyone to quit their day job without any plan, although that does sound like quite the adventure. But again, be smart. There's a line from the main antagonist near the end of the film, whose name escapes me at the moment. She says, in an effort to discourage Steve, to create is to suffer. And she couldn't be more right. I take it she mostly is referring to the ridicule and disapproval that she received by others on account of her creativity, which that's painful in its own right. But even to add to the idea of to create is to suffer, at least from my experience, being creative, specifically creatively productive, eventually takes a toll on you. Even in regards to the videos that I make, the process of creating them gets to me. I've contemplated not continuing the channel many times just for that reason. I watched a video recently of Eminem talking about his process of coming up with rhymes, stating that it drives him insane. You may think that sounds outlandish. It's like, oh, you're living the dream, you just get to make music for your living. But and there are perks that come with that, certainly. But truly, any creative endeavor, some more than others, take a lot out of you. But then again, what good is the good in you if it only ever remains within, never impacting anyone? You can have all the good intentions, be kind-hearted, have creative ideas all you want, but until you impact someone positively, you're missing out on the best part of any good trait you possess, sharing it with others. And I have to be clear, and unfortunately explain this, I'm not proposing political policy here by saying to share, because kindness that's legislated is no kindness at all. But you know what I'm saying. Leave your cave, I suppose. As Jordan Peterson says, you have a deep intrinsic value, and if you don't bring it to the surface, the world is much lessened as a consequence of your failure. It might be crucial what you have in you. Steve was at first too concerned with the constraints, judgments, and obstacles that he did and will face in the real world. But again, to give the utmost credit, he made the right choice by choosing to face them still. I'd encourage you not to see obstacles as simply intimidating, but rather as exciting, as you will be a better man or woman after you face them, whether you defeat them initially or not. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man. For it's within the uphill battle, within the conflict, it is the difficulty of any endeavor that makes it intriguing to both witness and experience. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. Now, don't mishear me. I'm not saying to underestimate your trials. I'm just imploring you, ordering you even, to face them. And I have another video on that here. It's talking about that whole idea in more detail. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Your journey and experiences will most likely not be as glamorous as the Minecraft movie, but it will be an adventure nonetheless. And any suffering you experience on account of your beneficial creativity will be well worth it if it betters you and the lives of others. So to reiterate the point, don't only use your abilities for your own recreation, use what you have for good, to help and benefit others, to love God and love your neighbor, and yes, to hate evil. Use your creativity and personality to benefit the world, the people around you. Be a light wherever you are and in whatever you do. And whatever it is you decide to do, do it with all your might and unto the glory of God. Well, I hope that all makes sense, and I sincerely hope that this helps you in some way, so apply today and wherever and whenever applicable. Also, leave suggestions for what movies or I guess songs or any kind of media you'd want to see me talk about on the channel. I guess it'd mostly be a movie that I'd consider making a video on. But yeah, just leave any suggestions of videos you want to see, movies you want me to watch. Also, watch the previous video. I talked about cars. There's a primary issue that Lightning McQueen had that you get to see in real time as he overcomes that issue, and it's an important lesson, so do check that out if you're interested. Remember to treat others the way that you want to be treated, to love God and to love your neighbor, and therefore you will be your best self. Thank you for watching, and as always, it's an honor.